I've declared that this right now, as of TU15 after the nerf, this is one of the best builds. I wouldn't say it's the greatest build. That depends on your play style, what you do, what you really enjoy in the game. But I've found that this build has got me through a lot of trouble. Legendaries, the countdown for sure, summit. There isn't anything that I can't do with this build. Most people see this blue build on a raid and will say no. They won't even let it test out. So I haven't been able to test it out on a raid. But short of raid qualified, this build is by chance the greatest build. And when I did a deep dive on YouTube, I seen that there are a lot of creators that have labeled this the greatest build, aka the heartbreaker, kingbreaker combo in whatever version. Now we've seen probably most of the people that cause Comet Von Doom, GC Rock, Sergeant Greybeard, all say Catharsis Mask and these two combination definitely go hand in hand. But let's go with the content creator that has the most followers and the most views. His name is nothingbutskillz. Nothingbutskillz' video has been seen by more people than any other video on this format. So what we want to do is we want to put together a build that is very similar to his. Now he runs the Memento backpack, and then he runs I actually have to re-watch his video to see which part he runs. So let me give it a second for that and get a friend in here. I think I got a message from him. Always have time for you, sir. Somehow your volume's way down. No, not much better. Nope, no improvement. Let me see if it's on my end. Okay, go ahead. Let's see if that works. Yes, must have been on my end. I must have bumped my headset and turned down the chat volume. So we're doing a video right now, and you're a part of it as I'm talking to you. It's a live video, it's not a recorded video. So what we're going to do is we're going to check out.
Agent has gone offline.
I did a deep dive to figure out what people say is the greatest build. Okay. And when I did a search for the greatest build, many of the builds that came up, there was a few different, but there was only a few builds when you do a search for greatest build in Division 2. About half the builds are a kingbreaker, heartbreaker kind of build. Okay? So right now we're going to test out how nothingbutskillz, since he has the most watched view, that video is called the Division 2 Best Soul Legendary Build. It feels like cheating code, insane damage, and survivability. Which any heartbreak build, we gotta agree, gotta be damn good, no doubt about it, right? So we gotta, to get our build kind of like his, we're gonna have to make a Fenris mask. So let's see if we can go acquire one, I guess. Yep, I'm gonna have to go acquire one. So what he does, instead of runs it like Elvis, the Elvis build that I run, he runs it with the memento backpack, which of course we know the memento backpack is OP. And on the other builds, some of the other greatest builds that we've seen out there, one of the ones that pop up a lot is builds with the memento backpack. So if it isn't the carethsis mask or the hunter's the breaker, it's a memento backpack with a number of builds, but especially the hunter's fury. Those kind of builds pop up. So nothingbutskillz claims that this is the best. Now I will say nothingbutskillz's watch score is 2100. I know a lot of people that have 2100 or better, which a good thing about, I've kind of figured out, so you can gain a level in about 30 to 40 minutes unless you're doing something like a boost or something like that, like a level 10. There's a few exploits, or I won't call them cheats per se, but they borderline on that you can generate experience a lot quicker. Or if you're super great like Mill Stepmom, and you can run through heroic with all 5 things on with flawless and just run right through it like it was easy for the rest of us. Short of being that person, it takes about 30 to 40 minutes to gain a level on your watch score. So you can kind of add, if you take the watch score and you look at that in hours played, you can kind of estimate how many hours they have, and you can check it out. When you look at my my characters, short of the 4th character that's came and gone a few times, you can see that I have over 5,000 hours played, which approximately a 5,000 hour watch, or 5,000 watch. So that makes a lot of sense. So you can kind of, it's just a stretch rule that each hour on the watch equals a little less than an hour. So that's kind of a portion. So let's run. You can run with me, and we can do some dailies if you need to work on your dailies. Do you? Okay, so let's go ahead and do District Union, and since you're all caught up on that stuff, and we'll run through District Union. We're going to do it like we normally do, with challenging directives, Ragers, the 3 directives on challenging, and match make there, and we're going to run this nothingbutskillz style, and
a chance to wipe out the hyena leadership in one decisive blow. Get in there and hunt them down, every last one of them.
thing. Kingbreaker still does what it usually does. Gaining the armor, doing everything it needs to do. So far, we haven't even pulled out a shield. We haven't even tried to protect ourselves. We've just been. We haven't even went to the kingbreaker yet. We've just been blasting away here with the rock and roll. And no stretch of the imagination is running right through this content. No, we're just kind of running a slightly different version. Again, we haven't even attempted to protect ourselves with this build. We've been straight in their face, either with the kingbreaker or the rock and roll, and it so far has been melting people. Trying to play it the same way we do our version of Kingbreaker Heartbreaker, which we call, again, Elvis, because it is the king of rock and roll, which technically you can call this an Elvis build because it's still using the same two weapons. Got a little aggressive there. Now, here's one of the disadvantages. See, we're not building up bonus armor quite as fast as we are not having that Heartbreaker backpack. You know, we're not getting the 2-for-1. So we kind of got a little start there. And the other thing about any memento backpack build is if you don't get your kills, like here as Bingo Bong is getting his kills. If we don't get the kills, we don't get the trophies. We don't get the trophies. We don't get the bonus armor. We don't get hit us hard. Now, we're not telling Bong to let off in any stretch of the imagination. We want him to get as many kills as he can. That's part of the test. And going into that, we kind of knew that the memento is all about getting. Now, to kind of protect ourselves, so we did have to shield there, which I'm sure Skills would have done the same thing at this point. But no doubt the build is I think the build definitely lives up to the moniker of being one of the better builds in Division 2 at this time, no doubt. Especially if the build was built before the nerf, that would make this build even that much better. It did take a nerf about a month ago.
An agent needs assistance.
But like right here, we're not getting our trophies, so we're not getting the bonus armor as quick as we do with our version of it. Now we look all hefty and fine and good. So we only picked up like 2 trophies there because with the full team, again, you're not getting your kills. So that might be one thing that you consider when running the greatest build per se here with the Heartbreaker, is that the memento is probably great solo, which is what he advertised on his video. Solo, when you're running as a team, yeah. Now if you're running with a lesser team where you're still getting the majority of the kills, it's probably still, and obviously it's a great build. We're holding our own. We're doing a good job over here ourselves. By no stretch of the imagination is this a weak build. Now, if we were head to head with Nothing But Skills right now with his build, both his build and the build that I have right here, who would maybe win in the dark zone? I'm putting my money on this build, and the reason why is because he's not expertise 20. I think he's getting close by the time that he made the video. And as you can see, our build is, the memento backpack is at 19. The even the mask here that we're using, the Harris Walker and Co., which might actually work better. Yeah, we're not getting the best out of being Fenris, but we're getting that 5% damage on both guns, and since we're using the rock and roll the most, the Harrison Walker Code may be a better improvement on Nothing But Skills' build. Which I really didn't think about that when I threw it on. It was just a build that had the crit chance, crit damage, very similar to his build. But I didn't have a Fenris mask that was built with those kind of stats. But again, the Harrison Walker Code mask was, and it gives 5% weapon damage. So it's making up for a little bit of that. And when we're using rock and roll, it's giving even better rock and roll. Since our rock and roll's maxed out here on weapon damage, it is just killer. remember the hyena backpack back here, or the right here. Always chances of exotics dropping out of here fairly regular. Always want to check that as long as we got hyena keys. And yeah, we have people that are maybe running this with us that are running a speed build, but we're still running pretty good, and we're still picking up everything. We're not missing an item here. They are going to suck us into the room on time, but we were able to pick up all the resources in the items there, so that's pretty good. Yeah, I like the blue screen for doing some of the specializations on challenges on the summit. It's like really made for like confused, disrupt. Yeah, it really melts through those. It really gives you an opportunity to get some of those challenges really fast on.
Failing. Air filter function restored. Air quality acceptable.
Now, one of the things I do try to do when I'm not totally immersed in the game, when I'm consciously thinking about how to play the game better, is to get down one side of the hallway or the other instead of the middle, especially when you have a shield. As you can see there, that from our perspective, you can see that some of the guys got in our way, and we're trying not to get in their way. So it's best to either like go left when they're going right, like we just did now, or at least kind of hug one side or the other, so the team can be more like a real team, you know, where you got left, I got right, you know, and you trust your teammate to do the right thing. And definitely the good thing is in this game there's no friendly fire, so your teammate can't shoot you like some of the other battle royale games, or that would be really bad. I'm sure I would be dead a lot more often if there was friendly fire, and I definitely would be killing a lot more of my teammates because they have a tendency to run right out in front of me. And again, you see another strategy that I use a lot is to get on the opposite side of those shields and big guys, because they have to make a commitment to either go after me or go after my teammates. If they go after their teammates, then I'm hitting her in their rear end, which is their weakest spot. And if they turn to face me, then the team can melt them. So it's always good that somebody does some flanking and multiple attacks on those big fat guys. So we just set a personal record on speed run, even though that's not what we were really trying to do. We were still collecting everything as we ran through it. We ran through there in 16 something, which is personal best. But again, a lot of times when I know I'm going to max out the points, I'm not going for the speed record, because obviously we haven't got, we're not going for speed records per se. And this probably isn't the build for speed runs. And the last but not least, my statement about this build is it's not advertised as the best team build. Again, we did a deep dive for greatest build in Division 2, and when we did, we came up with a number of builds. And right at the top with 94,000 views was this legendary solo build. So it's advertised as a solo build. In fact, the second one, Marco Style, 10,000 views. It says solo build, and it is a catharsis mask as well. On the greatest build videos, the next one is actually Kamikaze Von Doom's, 28,000 viewed, about a month old, and it is an armor regen, fully maxed armor regen Hunter's Fury build, and definitely have to give the thumbs up that that's a great build to run. But here on number 6 is a 25,000 view of a never reload, never say die, and he's using a kingbreaker with a bullet king on that one. So he never has to reload. Not sure how that's working, but it's a heartbreaker tank build with bullet king. Again, heartbreaker. You know, here's another Kamikaze Von Doom with the Catharsis Mask and Hunter's Fury. So most of the builds here are Hunter's Fury slash Heartbreaker builds. And we go down here, we even see one from Plum, we see Patrick Wolf, and a lot of these are very similar builds. And no, I don't believe anybody copied off each other. I believe these builds pretty much build themselves. If somebody was in complete vacuum and could not look at anybody else's internet, I guarantee these guys would come up, and any player that's played this game enough is going to come up with a very similar, if not exact build. The Catharsis Mask and these Heartbreaker definitely build themselves. So I give it thumbs up. Yes, I agree that it is one of the best builds. It is the greatest build. Maybe, maybe not. And again, this version of the build is more conducive to solo play. And as we see there was a few times that we had to rely on the shield a little bit. Kind of duck and hide behind it, or kind of lay back a little bit because we were losing. The other thing about this build is with him running he runs the Fenris mask and has that DPS on it. We did a similar thing with Harrison Walker Code. Now his his kingbreaker might hit a little harder, but we've definitely made up with it because his version had no expertise on it. Our version has 12% weapon damage from the kingbreaker. So we've definitely made that up and then some that on his build, because we're getting 5% weapon damage from the Walker & Co. We're getting 12% on the kingbreaker. So, and then when we go to the rock and roll, we're getting way more than his build was, because we're getting 20% for fully maxed, fully expertise weapon rock and roll, and we're getting that 5% off the Walker Harrison Co. So, for those non-believers, when Nothing But Skills video says best solo build, legendary build, I don't know if it's the best, but it is one of the best. No doubt that this build can function anything, let alone legendary. But as he says in that video, and some of the other video creators like Sergeant Graybeard and Buzz Lightbeard, they all say the same thing, as I will preface this. Just because you have a great build, if you don't know how to run it, doesn't mean that you're going to guarantee that it's going to guarantee that you can complete a legendary. If you're being too aggressive, too passive, not hitting your shots, putting yourself in a position where a sniper or a chunga can really put you down in 1 or 2 shots, and if you allow that, they will put you down in 1 or 2 shots, no matter what your build is. So there it is. The Nothing But Skills version, improved, no doubt, by us. Definitely an improved version of that build. But and here we're going to compare it back to our build. So our normal build that we run the Elvis build in is the Catharsis mask that has this great ability, Vicious Cycle, and it gives us 30% weapon damage on top of that. Yeah, we're losing the 5% that we would get from Harrison Walker & Co. or the 15% off of Kingbreaker. But we're also running the Fox's Prayer as our second non-heartbreaker build, and we're getting that 8% multiplicable damage of out of cover damage and a little bit of crit chance on there. We're also, by running the Heartbreaker backpack, we're getting our bonus armor twice as fast as he is with running the memento backpack. Now he's getting bonuses from the memento backpack when he picks up the trophies, but again, he's got to get the kills. So when you're solo, yeah, you're going to get the kills. Nobody else is there shooting them. Either you kill them or they kill you. But when you're running with a team like we just did, a lot of times that team was really, really good, and they were getting their fair share of kills. So we got to be mindful of that. So let's see what next project we have, and just for anybody watching this video, let's go through Camp White Oak. We'll do Camp White Oak here. And we're going to run it through with our version of the build, our true version, and then we'll try markofbladez' version of the Kingbreaker and see how much different it is.
Black Tusk has Ellis at a cabin just past the staff offices. They'll move to extract him at the first sign of trouble, which they're about to get.
Intercepting enemy communications.
Multiple hostiles on the main road. Approaching the bridge.
Copy that. You are clear to intercept.
Right. And you got to remember, there are some ways of building builds is one of the ways that I select what I'm going to keep and what I'm not going to keep in these builds is a process of elimination. You can eliminate probably 40-50% of your gear just because you're just never going to use it. 511 tactical gear, unless it's a named gear that gives something special, is almost always in the trash. Douglas and Harding, not a big fan of it either. You know, Sokolov, Petrov, all those are great for the first piece, but you don't see me running around with a 3-piece Sokolov or a 3-piece Petrov.
Godspeed.
It's just not something you see. There's just too many other alternatives out there.
Western perimeter.
They're going for the helipad. Get in front of them and fuck up their day.
Protected reload. You know, how many times do I really need a little bit of extra armor during when I'm reloading? I'm smart enough to go into cover when I'm reloading, so give me a little extra armor while I'm already in cover probably isn't beneficial, you know, and then I'm missing out on 30, 40, 50, 60% damage if you got focus or something like that. So again, what are you losing to gain that little special niche? Now, if there's a niche in there that gives you extra bleed or something like that, and that's what you're going for, or that's a specialization that you have to bleed so many enemies, yeah, that's that kind of falls in what I call a second tier build. That's more on especially. We'll use this when we are doing that. You know, when we're bleeding, we're going to use ridgeways. When we use, you know, we'll use this build over that build. But to say which build is the greatest or which one is a have to in your inventory, definitely the Hunter's Fury and now the Heartbreaker is definitely two of those builds that if you're not playing with them or it's in your build library, you're kind of missing out. Those are two fun builds, especially if you're run and gun. Now, you got to remember the first year, 2 years that I played this game, I was mostly a sniper because, you know, we did the aces and eights set early on for the raids back when it was you had to wear all 6 pieces, and when I wasn't in the raids, I was still using that build even in places that were just not conducive to run that build, like the dark zone. Yeah, we get owned by anybody that would rush me, but if I hit them, if they held still for just that 1 second, they were down. One hit, they're done. You know, when you're hitting them for 60, 80, 100 million, nobody can survive that. And we see that with the NPCs. How many times have you held your own and then all of a sudden here comes this shot from a sniper in the back and I'm down, I need help, you know? So, yeah, that's what the sniper does. Talking about that, we got one back here right now that Kingbreaker's making short order of. And you could see that, yeah, we're not getting as many bonus armors from the trophy with our build, but you can see that we gain the bonus armor much quicker when we're up in their face, letting that rock and roll sing and getting our shots in. You can see our bonus armor just go astronomically blue, in a matter of seconds. Because when you go with the memento backpack, you have to sacrifice not wearing the heartbreaker backpack.
Galveston, you've got an SHD element approaching your position.
Copy that. We gotta move, Chief. Are you talking to me? Who else would I be talking to? Gather your shit and let's go. This is Galveston. Chicken Hawk is on the move.
Remember, there's some chests back here in the cabin.
Fuck yourself. Where are we going? Into the tunnel, Chief.
So what?
They must be cutting through the bunker. There's an entrance just ahead. You should still be able to catch them.
Another agent is now in your group.
Yeah, as soon as you get something that's even half worth its salt, you definitely want to add it to your favorite so you don't make that mistake. I know I've trashed many a build just by doing that, or not having it protected. The other good thing about this build is, so the team here is taking a lot of damage. We can step right up as a tank and step right in front of. I said earlier about going left or right, but there are times that you do want to go right down to the middle. If you see your teammate taking too much damage, having a problem dealing with somebody, you know, you want to kind of get between them and the problem. Give them a little chance to either take a breather, hit the first aid kit, and that can help. That's why I really question why anybody would really want to play this game without a mic and headset. Communication on this game makes it so much easier. Can you do a raid without a mic? Yeah, I know people that have done it. But that person was also had a disability where he could not speak and hear. He could only see, but he could type like a fiend and still, you know, be a great marksman from across the screen in the early days of the Dark Hours raid.
Door sealed.
Shit. No way you're getting through there.
Or at least that it was his story.
We're southeast around the ridge.
We'll let him stick to it. But he did type like a fiend, and he never did talk, and I was told he was deaf and mute. Now, do you notice that we're running with a lot more bonus armor a majority of the time, and a majority of the time it's much fuller this time?
This is JTF Unit 1 leader. We're pinned down, taking heavy losses. Is the
Oh, that's right.
locked down? Negative. We can't break through. Shit. We can't let Ellis get away.
Damn. Oh, I knew we had one person in here. I didn't realize we picked up a second. Hey Solar, how are you doing? You're live on YouTube, so we're doing dailies. Right now we need a deep dive on greatest builds. So when you do a search on YouTube and try to find out what the greatest build, one build comes up right now more than anybody else's on my channel, other channels, is this Heartbreaker, Kingbreaker build, or a version of it. And earlier in the video, when we ran through the first daily, we ran with Nothing But Skills video, and it differs from this build. Used a memento backpack. So, yeah, you've definitely stumbled into the right party then. And so you're right now. You can see this live. You're live, and the build is live on YouTube with Bear Essentials with Bear Buyers. So, if you got a phone or something, you can actually watch your teammates work. You can see a perspective of yourself. So what makes the Heartbreaker, you have to have kind of some of the elements. So the Heartbreaker works on pulsing, and nothing pulses as good as the mod to your weapon that is the laser pointer. So basically everything I shoot is being pulsed automatically. As soon as I point my gun at it, it's pulsed. So 100% of the time, there's no missing a pulse, there's no waiting for her skill to come back up. So, and most of people agree with that. So that means you have to run Technician with Heartbreaker, because the only way to use the pointer, the laser pointer that gives you the bonus for pulsing, is running that specialty. So you have to run Technician. Have to run 4 pieces of Heartbreaker. Now again, Nothing But Skills ran chest, holster, gloves, and knees.
System curtailed.
The disadvantage, right, just so you can use the ability that it does. The one thing he doesn't use is the Carethsis mask, and I just believe that makes it OP. Now the memento backpack is just it's awesome itself, no doubt. And we proved that his build is really good, but it suffers a little bit when it's in a group, because if you don't get your kills and you don't get your trophies, if you're doing a majority of the damage and somebody goes right. So that's always been the problem with a Hunter's Fury Memento backpack kind of build. And it goes just as much here with the Heartbreaker Memento.
We're taking our sweet time.
Sounds like you can still overtake Ellis.
Right.
Unit 1 leader, do you have eyes on Ellis? Unit 1 leader, do you copy? Shit!
Right. So how this build really works, no matter what version you have, you're using the automatic shotgun to throw 7 pellets as fast as you can in their face. And as you can see, I'm not even shielding up here. So we're just getting up and we're using our combination of the Kingbreaker. Now I call this build the Elvis build for one reason, and that is because it uses Kingbreaker and the other weapon is a rock and roll. Just so I can unleash 30 shotguns full of 7 pellets at a time. To get all that bonus armor. And then when we do, we can switch to the Kingbreaker and just melt them. Right, and
we're almost to you. You should have eyes on us in a minute here.
You missed that part of the video. Whatever makes you happy and whatever meets your play style. You know, for the longest time I was the sniper guy back in the raid days when Iron Horse first came out. But we actually had to use, if you played the game back then, you had to use all 6 of the specialty. So if you ran a specialty build, you had to run all 6 of them. So the guy that was on doing
System reactivated.
the crossbow had to be all 6 copies of Tip of the Spear. The aces and eights guy that gave everybody double damage had to run all 6 pieces of ace and eights. I was the aces and eights guy. And of course that was before the optimization station, so you kind of had to really work to get a really good set together, because you couldn't modify it and you couldn't turn it into blue, so it was very red and very squishy. So it was a talent, and I pretty much played that probably after the first 2 or 3 months of the game when the raid came out. I pretty much ran that for a year in everything I did. I was the ace and 8 guy. And you can see one of my old videos where we actually killed Razorback in less than 2 minutes. We killed Razorback so fast on that raid that Chunga didn't even come out. And Chunga's come out at the 2-minute mark.
Hey, give me one second here.
Yeah, you can't do that anymore. They didn't like it when we killed the raid that quick. They were like, no, we're not going to let you guys one-shot Razorback anymore. And there's teams that still learn how to, do similar kind of things. When the devs think that they can prevent us from doing what we do, some genius comes up with a way to make it work. I always loved it when the devs when there was talents on all the different, there was talents on knees and the backpack and the mask, and there was just so many different combinations there that the devs just couldn't figure out in their mind. They got their minds filled with programming and all this other stuff. Us players have this mentality of putting together things that they didn't see, and they were like, oh shit, we didn't think about that. Oh, that's too powerful. That combination. And then when you get that combination, it's so powerful that everybody has to play it, or you're at a disadvantage. So it becomes the only way to play. And that's the cool thing I like about the state of the game right now is, for one, this expertise system that they put out. It behooves you to play different kinds of builds so you can get the expertise on that up. So can I give you the real bad news? So once you get to expertise level 20 and you're actually gearing up your gear, to get one build, to get this build up to 20% across the board, requires 315 exotics components. Let me say that again. 315 exotics that you have to break down to get this build and its weapons and its backup weapon and its handgun to 20% efficiency. So if you broke down 10 exotics a day, it would take you a month to get one build up to perfect.
Getting Elvis was always a long shot. Black Tusk specializes in dealing with situations like
So yeah, moral of the story is people are still giving away exotics. Oh, I got that one. I got a lot of, they'll say, I got a lot of components. I got 76 components. I'm like, dude, you're going to go through those like that fast. To take my rock and roll from 19 to 20 took 10 exotics. 10 to go to 20th level. Just one level. Of course, every level under that is less than one. So at 11 years, it's going to require you to use 1. 12 is 2. 13 is 3 more, 14 is 4 more, 15 is 5 more, etc., etc., etc. Yeah, for the casual player. So somebody like me that grinds and knows how to get, use their characters the best they can. And again, I've been preaching on my channel a long time. You should always have 4 characters. We're doing the dailies right now. I can do those on each character. So those bonuses we get for doing these daily events, I get times 4. When it goes to Tuesday morning, when you get to donate shade request and get 365,000 for just donating a bunch of resources and an exotic, I get that times 4. Yeah. You need to go back to the New York or DC or whatever. Yeah. Where the hell? There it is. You guys ready? You guys got everything picked up? Okay. Yeah, I'm going to do the zoo next. Why can't we depart? Oh, there we go. Yep, I'm going to do the zoo next. Well, thank you, Bingo. Well, I thought it was because you like being a star on a video. Right. I agree. They were the most powerful weapon, but they didn't have the best support build behind them, for sure. You know, the very first month of the game, the creepy the basically the vampire build that you could just run a vector and face tank somebody, and you could gain more life faster than they could take life from you. And you could just you watch some of the videos that are like from the first month of the game. There's a few videos out there of the older players that were here that literally were just sitting there going blah, and they would just stand there and go, "You can't kill me." You know, I literally gained life too quick. And they were like, "No, that's OP. We gotta fix that." Oh, I agree. But that build definitely had to be changed, even though they totally nerfed it completely into the ground. Yeah. When you literally cannot kill somebody, that's when the build is just too. That's when changes need to be made. It just makes it too lopsided. You know, if you don't run that build, you can't win. And if you run that build against another build, yeah, you guys are, neither one of you you're just going to waste each other's time. You know, you just literally can't melt each other. Right. So let me know when you guys are ready, and we'll.
Hey, looking for something special?
Well, you can stay in the group. You can work out here. You can join us halfway through the run through. I'm okay with that. We can start. Okay. Okay. Well, check it out. And one thing I do tell you, if you've just come back to Division 2, take the time and do it maybe with your own group that hasn't went through, or do it solo, but do the manhunt and listen to the storyline. It is really, really, yes, it's really good. It's really good. Now, followers of my channel for the last year and a half, there are some predictions that I said they should do that they kind of alluded to, and I hit the nail right in the head. So don't watch some of my old prediction videos from 2 years ago. It'll blow the storyline, because somebody. The actual channel is called Bear Essentials with Bear Buyers, but if you just go into YouTube and you put BEAR space BYERS, you should find me. It's a picture of a roaring lion. It's actually a Kodiak lion, bear. It's late in the morning. It's a Kodiak bear up in King Salmon, Alaska. He was pretty upset that people were getting close to him on the riverbank when he was eating a salmon. But you can add me as a friend. I'll add you as well. And anytime you need any help or want to run, yeah, I should. And the channel will be called Bear Essentials with Bear Buyers. And of course, you'll see the video that we're doing right now live. Should be like the first thing. Purple, did you want to do zoo with us? Hey, nice meeting you.
Another agent is now in your group.
There's Purple back. Say what? Right, exactly. Yeah, it doesn't help you. Yeah, it won't allow you to break any more down. You're just trying to get to level 10 proficiency, and then you're proficient. And then I would just either break those down or just keep the best one if that's something you want to run with. And then, yep. So, to be fair, let's jump in here and kind of look at this next build. Again, to catch you up what we're doing, we're kind of doing a live video, but we're doing, we did a deep dive in a search for who was the greatest, what was the greatest build. And the build we came up with was the build that keeps coming up the most is the heartbreaker build. And we're looking at right now I'm looking over here at the computer, and I'm looking at a video that has 12,000 views, or 10,000 views, 10,500 views. It is from a creator that came up with some decent builds, or advertised some decent builds. I don't know if he created them. Again, a lot of these builds create themselves. It is the markofbladez. There's only one problem with it. It's built exactly like ours. And it's only a week old. We've been running this build for 2 months. Again, this build builds itself, so come on. If you're running 4-piece and you got to run the backpack and you got to run the chest to get the best effective as that, and then you're going to run the carethsis mask, that only leaves you one slot to play around with. Is it going to be the holster? Is it going to be the gloves? Or is it going to be the knee pads? Well, everybody knows that the best in class, across the board, and one of the best multiple applicable damages is out of cover. And since most of the NPCs are out of cover, the carethsis knee pads is definitely the highest choice. So that kind of picture your setup. You're going to run carethsis knee pads, you're going to run carethsis mask, and then everything else has got to be heartbreaker, right? Well, he's running his build exactly the same. The only difference is he's running a a healer drone to keep the shield a little bit more protected and running through with it. So we don't have to run his build here at the zoo because basically his build is our build.
Priority is to neutralize Emmeline Shaw, but you'll need
Right?
to get control of the monorail system in order to reach her. The main entrance will be well guarded, but it's the easiest way in, and they won't be expecting company.
Yep. And by the way, if you guys haven't decided how great we really are in this game, and I'm not trying to be wids and say I'm so much better, but do you see a Kazakami Von Doom statue there? Nope, I see a bear statue there. And there's another bear statue over here. I don't see a GC Rock statue there or a Nothing But Skills statue, but I do see bear statues everywhere in this game. So that just tells you who the best is, right? Hey, if you can't have a little fun with yourself, you know, what can you do? Yeah, there you go. Come on. Their best video is more than all my 3 years of channel combined, so obviously yeah, I'm not even monetized yet, which means it takes 1,000 subscribers to get monetized. And it's usually one of those you gain 3 or 4 and you lose 1, you know. Somebody gets bored, or they're like, hey, that damn bear's making a video every day, or 2 or 3 videos a day, and my damn phone keeps going off. Screw that. You know, you can just turn the notifications off if, you know. We got one behind us. He's stuck in the door. Alright, or actually 2 of them hiding in there. They're like, ah! So, Purple, how you doing on your proficiency? Yeah. I think unless you want to do the, I won't call them exploits, but they borderline on cheats, like, you know, have a big Watxh score, or tear a character down, go to New York. That gets very redundant, very boring, and then you buy, you know, you spend all your Watxh score and buy all the credits, and then you buy all your mods, and then you break down the mods, and then you use the mods to use to buy your way up the skill ladder and get everything proficient. Yeah, I can't imagine doing that for nothing but doing nothing but that. That would like take the total enjoyment of the game out, even for a hardcore grinder like myself. But if it's something you need to do to get 1 or 2 levels, yeah, you can do it. And then there's other people that go up to level 10 or level 90 and, you know, just literally hit the boss and camp the door and corrosive it, and tons of stuff drop. But the best way to legitimately play the game without dying on purpose and redoing it seems to be countdown. In the 15 to 20 minutes that it takes to get through a countdown game, you can extract 30, 40 things, and usually 10 or 15 of them are named gear. Yeah, it's probably the best place to get your proficiency up, get a lot of loot. Now, there still have issues. There's still a lot of deltas. If you're not with a regular team, you know, it's a roll of the dice. You know, when you get somebody in there that's running a skill build and you're like, oh my god, you're going to die, dude. And I can hold my own. Yeah, you can. But when 4 hunters concentrate on you, you're dead. You're dead. Nope. Now, I will say that this build, for the most part, kind of figured it out that an axe hit from the hunters are somewhere around 5 million melee attack. The reason why I know is the base armor on this is just over 2 million armor. With my proficiency of 20% on the catharsis mask, the 19% on the chest, the 15% on everything else, add that all up, it's at 96% bonus armor from all my bonuses for my efficiency. So that means that for all intents and purposes, my base armor is now closer to 4 million. So right now you can see the white part of my build is about 25%. So if that 25% represents 4 million, how much armor do I have right now? And I can almost survive 2 hits from a hunter. And I'm dead.
Rainer, what's your status? Rainer, come in! Shit!
Right. Right. You run tardigrade or unbreakable. Both do the same thing, so.
Low-level radio repeater detected. Pinpointing location.
A repeater. The outcast must be using it to boost the range of their comms. Taking that equipment offline will make it harder for them to coordinate against you.
Right. You know, that's the whole thing. You know, if you're smart and undercover, you can have the squishiest build and survive. I've literally played with a guy that is a professional. I consider him a professional raider. You know, he literally, he's one of those guys that can find ways to get paid in this game. Doing things for other people. You know what I mean? Without ratting him out. But I've watched him jump on somebody's build. Take a totally shit character with a totally shit build. Like one time he put on like Douglas and Harding and 511 gear and did the Iron Horse raid or the Arc Hours raid with that build. And he wasn't hiding out. We weren't carrying him. He was still carrying us. And I'm like, how can you do this? You don't have the DPS. You don't have this. He goes, he knew where the spawns were. And he knew how to direct the people that were there. You here, there, you there. You watch this. You do that. You do this. And he was still raising us more than we were raising him. Amazing. Amazing. I don't think there's very few people out there that could do that. Yeah, here I'll hide here, and you guys get the you guys get the eagle bear and drop it to me, and we'll give this client his money, and you know I'll throw some money your way for helping me out. You know. Nope, he could literally be out in the front doing what he needed to do because he knew how to make it work. Either that or he was a complete hacker. Well, the other. Oh no.
We need backup.
There are some builds you just can't face tank with. I love my sniper builds, but you know, but if you miss that headshot, you know, at 700k armor, you get melted real quick. One or two hits or none. Right, or you're sacrificing DPS. That's what makes this build so amazing. You know, at first glance, I've literally been kicked out of countdowns. I got kicked out 3 times just trying to join a random countdown. They kept putting me back in the same group, and the group kept kicking me out. The team leader would take a look. All blue build, you're out of here. Boop, kick me out. I'm like, dude, if you only knew. Finally, I messaged him. He was like, there's no way that built. I said, dude, I'll tell you what. You see the first time we get 2 big chungas on the playing field, I'll take on one, you take on the other. No help from anybody else. Let's see who melts them faster. He was like, no, I ain't gonna have you waste my time. Like, dude. He wanted by. He kept kicking me out of the group. He was in charge. I'm like, okay. Because even I was totally amazed that I built a totally blue build. I threw a bunch of stuff working through proficiency together, and I had a bunch of yaw gear, and I put some stuff with the a yaw gear with the heartbreaker, and it was all blue, and literally with the deflector shield, and literally was standing there and just taking damage, and it was just building. Yeah. Who snuck fastest? Oh, I didn't see anybody sneak past us. They must have been doing long damage to. I guess we'll try it again. No harm, no foul. It's not like it was a heroic or legendary. Yeah, but if you only knew how complicated this game was to begin with from the player standpoint, I mean the developer standpoint already. Highly recommend. I've told people to watch the video. Have I told you this already about the sound and all that? About that they went to Chernobyl, which it makes sense when you realize that back then when this game was developed, you know, Ubisoft had a big studio in Kiev, there in Ukraine. It wasn't until the Russian invasion that I'm sure it's not there right now. I'm pretty sure they're probably not in country. Well, maybe. You know, them Ukrainians are pretty stout. They proved that to the world. Probably the last time we seen somebody stand up to somebody they shouldn't on paper been able to stand up to was probably India standing up to Great Britain, and then before that the colonies, you know. Yeah, there's no way we could beat England in a fair fight, you know, back in those days. Yeah, but I'm keeping an eye on the purple bar this time. Done a little bit, but nothing spectacular. I don't know what the hell happened in that last game.
That'll cut
Or
the
that
range of their
last
comms
go
significantly. Keep going. You should be coming up on a monorail station soon. The control room will be overlooking it.
I don't know, but damn, I've never seen that happen like that. I've had teams that, you know, and running builds myself that were squishy and, you know, struggling and going, oh my God, they're, you know, going to overrun it, but I had no clue that they were even close to blowing that place up that time.
Nearby echo detected.
Yes.
I didn't get any of that.
Because it uses all those components.
Shit.
Have you ever taken on the specialty boss that comes out this door?
Looks like you're right by that monorail.
Yeah, there's a guy called
On
Agony.
the other side of the aviary.
You shoot all the beehives. There's 5 beehives, and you shoot each hive in the beehive, and then you run around and you shoot each of those, and then you come to this computer right here, and it'll light up, and then you hit the button on the computer, and Agony will come out. We'll do it another time. I think we're running out of time to get this done today before the new day starts at 4 o'clock. Might already wasted too much time already talking.
That should be the place. See if you can patch Isaac into the control board.
Interfacing.
They're coming! Holy hell!
Automatic braking system activated.
Holy hell. Guess they weren't taking any chances. But you're inside the barricades. You should be able to make it the rest of the way.
Show them we're not afraid of them! Make them fear us!
Hey, look, it's more kamikaze Von Doom statues. Hopefully I can consider him a friend to give him a shout out. Okay, there's faction crate and a women's crate down here. It's always worth checking out.
Hold the line! Don't let them through! Family!
Come on! Kill me! If you can!
Explosives detected.
You're nothing! This means nothing! Even if you kill me, you won't defeat me!
Agent down.
Yeah, you gotta be careful up there. Machine gun will get you.
An agent needs assistance.
Done that before.
Come on! Kill me! If you can!
Agent down. Echo detected.
See how the mama bears watched us? She's making sure we aren't going to try to hurt the baby. That's what mothers do.
Made it with 7 minutes to spare.
Target deceased.
What a fucking waste. Think of the good she could have done, the lives she could have saved. She was right, you know. Killing her won't end the outcasts. It might even make them more dangerous for a while. But without her to hold them together, they're gonna start to unravel. What a fucking waste.
Everything picked up. Purple. So I think we'll wrap up the video and we'll cut to a new one since a new day is going to come out here pretty soon. But we can basically show you some of the great builds. Now, Kamikaze Von Doom is worth checking out on his 2 or 3 different versions of the Kingbreaker Heartbreaker. Some of them were pre-nerf, some of them were post-nerf. But as we can see, Nothing But Skills, the markofbladez that came up, the 2 or 3 of Kamikaze Von Doom. Let's check out Patrick Wolf, his video on the similar subject. His build is actually, his God Mode build is actually not a Heartbreaker set, but is a Foundry Bulwark set running Catharsis Mask. And then, of course, he's running looks like he's running an Alp Summit. Backpack? An Alp Summit backpack with repair skills. That makes sense with safeguard, and he's using that to repair his shield, and he's basically hiding behind that shield. And I'll have to build that build and then run through some content with that. But that is totally different, and I don't have anything like it right now. But he's running Alp Summit with safeguard on the backpack and with a Catharsis Mask. And again, it's all about, works the same kind of concept as the Heartbreaker, but he's running the the shield. Basically, same thing. We have the artificial hive, all that to keep the shield intact, and to hide behind the shield the majority of the time. And he advertises that it's a perfect solo legendary build. Would probably work just as good as in a group. I don't think the group would affect that. In fact, I think it would probably even be better in a group, because he could actually tank for, like, keep the, like somebody like you that have the one to snipe, because the attention's going to be more on the guy up front doing him damage, especially with something from like the kingbreaker or something like that. So that's some of the builds that show up as the greatest build in quotations. And yes, that's a very, very good build. And we're going to build that to check that out. Again, Kamikaze has some on here that's Bullet King, Heartbreaker. We got a Carethsis Mask Hunter. We'll have to check that out when we do a special on Hunter's build. Here's a different take on markofbladez solo build. It's very similar to this other build. It just uses the K motion instead. Here's some clickbait from Plum Conch that says he can build a build that's 2.2 million armor with 283 crit damage, but I guarantee when you get into the video, he's going to say that's all hype. I'm going to tell you something different once you get in the video and watch it. So only one semi-bullshit build when you search for the greatest builds.
The base of operations is on high alert. Civilians must undergo a body search to gain access to the safe area.
So, if you guys give me a little time, we're waiting for the new content to pop up here in just looks like 13 seconds. We'll get to see what the new day is going to bring us. And in the process, we'll switch over to Hunter's Fury and play around with that build. Let's go ahead and try out, since we didn't try one of Kami's builds, let's put the Carethsis Mask Hunter's Fury build together. So let's switch over here and run the gunner. Be right with you guys, and we'll check and see what the daily holds for us. And we're going to run over here to the proficiency. I'm sure we got a bunch of skills over here. We're going to take our Lady Death here, and we're going to crank that baby up. Oh, it's already at 10. And we don't want to invest too much right now because we want to max out some of those other builds. As a backup weapon, what do I want to keep? I'm going to keep the rock and roll. Okay. Okay, so we have on our daily project, we have Roosvelt Island again. We're back to Roosevelt Island today for Monday, and Capitol building on the other daily project with True Sons activities and name True Sons. So let's go ahead and rock out Roosevelt Island, and we're going to do that with the Kazakami Von Doom Catharsis Fury build. Now, I didn't even look at what now I kind of build a build here that he's only running 2 Fury, and then he's running, looks like Fox's knee pad. He's doing all kinds of crazy stuff, which is not the build we have together. But we have a traditional 4-piece Hunters build that we're going to try here with the Catharsis mask, and see how it works. Well, you can join us anytime. We'll be running through here again. part of this is to see
Taking
how
down
it
the
works.
outcast stronghold and neutralizing their leader, Emmeline Shaw, will do serious damage to the faction. Also, Henry has intel that a mechanical engineer from the campus settlement was brought here recently, so be on the lookout for captives.
We've got a few hostiles ahead.
Any Hunter's Fury is going to be all about the run and gun build. So faster we run, the more harder we hit with the Lady Death, and the more we kill, the faster we run.
More bad guys just past the fuselage of the cargo plane. No indication they heard the shooting.
Anything? Not a goddamn thing. Why are we patrolling this far out? 'Cause Emmeline told us to. Take it up with her if you got a complaint. Open. It might be nothing, but it might be something. Is that supposed to be helpful, Earl? 'Cause it isn't. Shut your damn mouth before I shut it for you.
What did you do?
Both of you shut up.
On what?
Shoot that fucking drone!
I hate when they jump back down on the other side. You guys got seekers to throw over there or anything? Yeah, but if you don't have the green stuff, it won't work.
Another agent has joined your group.
Hurry! Let's move!
There's no direct way into the main compound from where you are. If you can get up on the wing, you can detour around to the west along the quarantine barricade. Coming up on a
Yes.
pit. At least half a dozen
Yeah, you light the
hostiles, but it doesn't
candles.
look like they're
You have to
expecting
do a chirp around and light a candle. It is the most worthless thing this game ever has to. You get there and you get to hear a little weird speech from something that seems to be very sacrilege. So I'm not praying to no owl god in a game or otherwise. Nothing but a speech. Not even a badge. You should get like a badge, an owl badge or something, you know? There should be something. You know, there should be an achievement in the game for killing Yannick the Beard, you know?
Boy, like barbecue!
It'd be neat if there was like a secret achievement, you know. Yeah, there's again something, a badge, an achievement, something that made it say, hey, I did this. I wasted 30 minutes of my time, 20 minutes of my time. And God forbid you light the candles wrong.
It's hard to focus with a gun pointed at your head. Help me, please! I'm working as fast as I can. Just take that thing somewhere else. These guys are insane. I have to get me out of here.
I like when you hit right at him, he firstly just kind of sidesteps you like, oh shit. And then was like, yeah, I'm a suicide bomber. Wait a minute. Don't fear the green stuff. You don't know how many times people join my games and was like, oh, green stuff, I'm leaving. Bye. Like, if you learn how to pick it up right, you actually get your skills back faster. But if you time it wrong, then you need that skill to use so much, especially a shield or some of these other skills that these people, you know, rely on, like a life like a pacifier. And they're like, oh, I can't survive without my skill.
Agent needs assistance.
I hope you burn this whole place to the ground.
Serious trauma detected.
Oh!
Agent incapacitated.
Hey, Agent. Thanks. I don't know if I can put into words how much it means that you came and got me. If I don't see you again, good luck.
Yeah, I don't know what Purple's been doing back here. Yeah, a little aggressive.
Vital signs critical. Agent down. Agent deceased.
You guys are still hanging back here with the thing. I'm already up here by the gate killing the last, trying to kill. I'm like, where is everybody? That's a disadvantage of running through
Looks like they've sealed the gate.
builds, especially when you're trying
Way
to
unseal it.
prove or disprove other people's builds. So you really don't, you're not sure how they, you know, it takes you a little bit of time. Like I probably should have pulsed there, the Banshee pulse, froze the guy and then melted him. Like here, we'll get the key for you guys and then let you blow up the gate, and then as they come through the gate, we'll Banshee pulse them, freeze them in place. Or I guess I'll blow up the gate. No, I heard you. Excuses, excuses. Do you accept his excuse there, Purple? Oops. Yeah, I kind of feel sorry for these rushers. All they want is a big hug. I'm like, no, you got COVID. You got to stay away. Oops, I meant the dollar flu. And our Mendez is actually called Biden, and I guess that makes Harris, right?
Be careful. They're bound to be expecting you. What the hell is that?
A group of hostiles is moving toward a boat on the east shore. They're escorting someone who appears to be unarmed.
If Emmeline gets away, finding her isn't going to be easy. You've got to stop that boat.
Oh, and the backfire is great if you're running an all like a 80% hazardous build. You just run and everything else is besides Hasbro. You got so you run a lot of yaw mask. Do the Hasbro thing. It's really hard to get the perfect weapons to be able to get the crit chance, the Hasbro, the crit damage to run that build. But when you do, and you get all those pieces together just in the right combination, so you can turn it red or blue, it is melt, because you don't have to worry.
Serious trauma detected.
You don't have to worry about the right. You don't have to worry about the bleed because you're immune. So you can just run through there and do all the stuff. There's also another trick you can play with the Ninja Bike knee pads and
Immediate medical assistance needed.
and but you gotta time it just right that that basically instead of hit your reload you just do a cover to cover or vault 4K something, but it kind of defeats the purpose. The best thing to do is just run it with the Hasbro.
What's going on with that boat?
Hasn't launched yet. Looks like they're in the process of fueling it. There are big tanks on either side of the boat.
Those tanks are a primary target. What about Emmeline?
Already aboard the boat. Assuming that was her.
It's not the most worthless exotic. You just have to have it right combo. Remember, it's all about killing the tanks and then blowing up the boat. Shoot the people if you have to, but the quicker we blow the tanks and blow the boat, game's over. Off the boat.
Without their leader and their stronghold, the outcasts are going to be much less trouble than before. You know.
You shall not pass.
But what they
No, you shall not pass.
they're finally at peace.
Hey, the latecomer. So 64 kills tied with RKT with this weird build that we built, thinking it was close to Kamikaze Von Doom's build, but we turned out to have a unique build, and it did okay. I give it a B. It went down 3 times just because I got very aggressive with it. Didn't pulse enough. You know, so definitely when you use this gunner fury build with the catharsis mess, what you want to do is you probably want to pulse, and then while they're pulse you go in there and clean them up. I would rather have the memento backpack, to be honest, but the cool thing is we were running the Matador. So we got the perfect adrenaline rush, but again, it doesn't quite work the way it used to. But again, not out to Kamikaze Von Doom. Would I say that build or a build similar is the greatest build? Probably not. I'm thinking right now that we'll have to go with the Elvis or some version of the Elvis build, which is, again, Heartbreaker, Kingbreaker, King of Rock and Roll. I have noticed another thing that makes the King of Rock and Roll so good is as you're shooting them, unlike an SMG, they're slightly staggered. It's not as good as an M1A on their stagger, but it's good enough to make them kind of hesitate. Just enough to keep pumping them in. So if you're point blank range, pumping a rock and roll into them, they get nothing off in return. Anybody watching the video, if you leave the comments down there what you think about that, yes or no, let me know. Oh, and this is a pretty type of the day for the on this bridge. See Lincoln Memorial all lit up there. Oh, I'm gonna go down.
Agent out of action.
Too many directions. I'm fighting myself across the bridge. I don't know what you guys are doing.
An agent has left. Your group.
No, that's okay. No harm, no foul. I was just, again, filling out the build.
Everyone's talking about you.
Hey, I found the snitch. You guys checked out Cassie Mendoza this week. Only available, I think we've already missed the window. I think she's done for the week. I think she's closed today. But I found the snitch. He's hanging out here in the patio, overlooking reflecting pool.
Nothing dead.
One of these days I'll figure out what this means. I'm thinking this means something. If you do something and do the right
This beat's getting shot.
Oh, they're dead. I don't know. They have alluded that there are still things in the game we haven't figured out. So let's go up here and check out Cassie and see if she's there for everyone. I'm probably gonna make me a thick pork chop breakfast. See if we got any good eggs. If not, run out and get some eggs. Oh, it's only 4 in the morning.
Friendly combatants detected.
No, it went the wrong way. What was done? Brendan. Lesbian's house. See, here's another one. Will be. So maybe it's just graffiti.
Friendly combatants nearby.
Oh, she is around. So good. Got some contractor's gloves. Of course, the splinter shield. Then the hunter killer is always there if you have your mask, all your mask discovered from DC and New York. And again, I never recommend you buy any of the green stuff because you can get that pretty much anywhere else. A Petrov hunter killer. Not my first choice because usually when you're doing headshot strings, last piece of equipment you ever want to use is an LMG. So that's pretty much worthless. And the Alps knee pads, if it was skill duration or repair skill, then you can make it a 1-2 and that would be good, but it's skill damage, skill haste, and Alps Summit 1 and 2 is repair skill duration. That's kind of how I judge my skill things if it's good. So if all this was picked up in a loot box, the only thing I might work with is the Pyromaniac is the only thing I'd really work with. But again, all my guns that I keep are perfect or I get to perfect. So that was Cassie, and she is pretty much done here pretty soon. She's going to be gone for the week. She'll be back Wednesday at a different location. I have to find the snitch sometime Tuesday or Wednesday morning and then go discover what Cassie does. Now, if you're proficient and you have the cash, you can always buy, you know, if you're 0 proficiency on the Pyromaniac, you could buy 20 of them, donate them, and you would be fully proficient with the Pyromaniac. Or any of those named loot gear you could go ahead and buy. Again, I don't recommend doing that for any of the basic gear or the brand sets. You can get those too easy just dropping here and there. Just from the allotted loot, stuff like that.
Detected. Access key detected.
Okay, so even though this isn't the exact build, this is a version, the Carethsis mask. Again, Kamikaze Von Doom, check out his video. I'm going to add the other videos to the description in this video that we've referenced, the markofbladez, the Nothing But Skills, Kamikaze Von Doom. And again, to go back over it, what we did is we did a search for the greatest builds, and we kind of wanted to see what was out there. Are we kind of building something that's similar? And the answer is yes. The Elvis build, or a version of it, the kingbreaker, heartbreaker, or the kingbreaker AC S12, definitely is one of the top builds right now, even after being nerfed a few weeks ago. Hunter's Fury pops up there a few times, and then there's a few other builds that kind of elude. You know, the good thing is nobody says the greatest build in their video, but they do have it as their best build, greatest build. And then a few years ago, we kind of seen that a lot out of Cold Boy. Every build each week was the best build. So it kind of makes you wonder. And again, one of my little hints, all these guys are solid. None of these are completely clickbait. You guys can check out the Plum video and make your own determination on that. Me and Plum have had some past disagreements online. He does a lot of stuff on Facebook, hating on other people, and I just don't like that. But he's got some good builds usually, but sometimes they're a little clickbaitish. But what I'm trying to say is all these builds up here, they're very solid builds. The Carethsis mask, the Memento backpack, the Hunter's Fury, Heartbreaker, in any kind of combination, make for a decent build to begin with. So go out there, have fun, check out your own build the build the way you want to build it, man. See if it really holds up to favor. Now the what I call the Elvis build or the Heartbreaker build, it definitely holds up to legendary and heroic content. So if you're used to running say heroic, throw on this build and jump it up to legendary and see what you can do. You may be surprised that the build gets you past some of the milestones that you were, maybe little roadblocks that you were stuck on. So as for my friends here, thank you, Bingo. Thank you for our new friends that we made tonight. I'm going to be back on in about a half hour to 45 minutes. Going to make a late dinner for second, third shifter that I am. And then I'm going to be back on. We'll run daily content on another character and maybe go through some different builds. Maybe even do some summit. So if any of that interests you, we'll see you then. Channel is Bear Essentials. I'm Bear Byers. I hope you have a great day. Thanks, Bingo. Nice meeting you, Purple. I think I added you as a friend. Oops. Oops. Didn't mean to do that. I hit the wrong button.
Another agent has been promoted to group leader.
I want to make you a group leader. You can do what you want to. Sorry, I hit the wrong button. I was trying to make sure you were added there, and I hit the remove button, which is one step clicker. So, yeah, you're definitely added as a friend. They're Purple, and I made him leader. If you guys want to do something, you can play my world or go to your own world, whichever the case may be. I'm just going to go to White House and chill out for a little bit, and I'll be on as soon as I get something in my stomach, and got to prep it and make it. Life of an empty nester. So I'll see you guys in a little bit.
Please approach the safe area using one of the designated checkpoints.
An agent is no longer in your group.
Military operations are in progress. We urge all civilians to remain inside a safe area. Please do not run outside the safe area. Sudden movements may be misconstrued as a hostile act. Please approach the safe area using one of the designated checkpoints.
entering safe area.